Hi, everyone. Welcome to another interesting episode of Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is a podcast where we'll talk about life issues, we'll talk about social media trends, we talk about culture. And today, we'll be discussing comedy, how comedy affects the hard times that we are in, what it does to our mental health. And I have carefully selected guests to discuss today's topic. I am the Grandmaster, and I'll be your host today. And with me, I have my co-host.
Well, I'm a regular on the show and I go by the name OD. Thank you for having me.
All right, so to my right, I have a medical doctor who will be doing justice to today's topic.
I am Dr. Bakari Ayodeji. I am a doctor, a pediatrician. I go by the name Doki Onifere on social media platforms. I'm a health content creator to educate people out there and change things in our health space. Thank you for having me.
And to my further right, I have the comedian in the house.
Adewale Joseph Akomola, known as Ete, comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They call me the BOC, that's the Ballet of Comedy. And also I'm a realtor, your top-notch MC. Thank you for having me today.
All right, you can see that our guests are fully loaded today. Hard Knocks podcast is brought to you by Walure Media. So now let me start with you. You called yourself Doki Onifere. How did you come about that appellation?
Okay, thank you. I started out as Saxy Dr. Sam. Basically, that just says that I'm a doctor that plays the saxophone. So I play a bit of the saxophone, not necessarily professionally, but it's one of the things that defines me. So Doki Onifere was basically kind of a repackaging of that name, Saxy Dr. Sam. So Doki, Doctor, Saxy Onifere. So basically that. But there's definitely more to me than the saxophone.
That's interesting. All right, well, let me not leave you out. Ete. So would you want to explain that name?
The name is so powerful, and then I got that name from my secondary school. Eteye. In fact, it's very long. It is Eteye Konkwe. Eteye Konkwe. I was like, I sleep a lot in the class, and I open my mouth down very well. So one of my friend, the guy he came to the class. He has been telling me, "Tobatin soon, mama, lanule, that's don't open your mouth down when you're sleeping." And for me to enjoy my sleep, I just open my mouth down. Stand just to collect fresh air, both physically and spiritually.
Wow.
So that day I opened my mouth down. The guy just came from nowhere and said, "Ete o de panu de pa." I was angry. In fact, I chased him out, went to the principal. I told her. She said, "Go and call that guy." I called the guy's name is Eko. I called him inside the office. Teachers gather because I like trouble in my primary school. They gather. After the principal said everything and I thought everything is done, she just said, "Ite, Joma Binu." So to my surprise, that simply means she gave me the name too. She have stamped the name. So I got the name from secondary school, but I have to remove that Konkwe because it's too long. So I have to make do with Eteye. So Eteye simply means Ete, means lips.
Okay.
Ye means survive. Eteye.
Wow.
Eteye. But the rich guys call it Eteye. Why call it Eteye, but I prefer somebody call me Eteye.
Oh, the rich guys.
The rich guys now. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the history of comedy in Nigeria. Would you want to trace the history of comedy, how it came to being and where it is today?
All right. To my own understanding, I was born and brought up in Zaria, Kaduna State, and then I started watching Papi Luwe, and then in fact the one they are doing in Zaria was Samenja.
Okay, I know
Samenja. Then they did Sao Keke, one outside guy like that. So I started watching. It's not as if I just jumped in being a comedian. So I was like, I love the way the craft is. Those days, nobody have television now. Nobody has video. We only wait maybe in a street, like 15 families, one person will have cassette, the video cassette. So we have to queue in their house. So comedy of those days can't be compared with now. Those days, people were just funny. They had the passion then, but no money to eat. But now, the difference is clear. Now we are working and the money is paying. But then when you compare the older comedians, and the present comedians like we now, the difference is clear. You understand? When you have the Alibaba, that's what Alibaba in the comedy industry still maintain
Really
that's king.
Mm.
It's not maybe he gave his name. We gave him the king because he has all the attributes. He loves us. He cares about us. You know, at times, not just being the big name. You have to have something that those upcoming guys will look up to.
Yeah.
I look up to seeing Alibaba. The first time I saw him, I thought I have to just, maybe you tell me. We have some comedians that if you go very closer to them, they will shank you. But Alibaba, whether you are popular, you are not, he will embrace you. So that alone will give you that encouragement. So we can't compare the starting point of comedy those days and now. The difference between the two is the financial aspect.
No,
So you can see that now the thing is paying off bills. But you can't compare with those days. Then it's passion. But now you can't be doing passion and not have money.
So who will you say, looking at, if you're comparing now, are you now saying, because you are looking like, you're saying money is now more like if something that fuels comedy of these days. So are you saying, in essence, is this you saying that you have less talent?
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is this. Let me clear it. Everybody needs money. Somebody like me, my own kind of comedy, I went under Alibaba to learn, Benga Denyika to learn. In fact, Alibaba did a kind of training, and he asked comedians to pay certain amount of money. You know, I thought when I go to that program, I will see comedians. My brother, we're not up to 10 because the amount that was like, it was big amount. But I have to go and look for that money. It's passion. When I pay that money, I'm telling you, I'm seeing the result now. Because that day it was just 1 hour lecture. It taught us how to compose yourself, how to plan your events, what to do, how to write proposal, and one thing I learned from that, I can confront anybody now. I ain't fear. After God is God. He taught us how to be very bold. So you understand? So it's not as if money is the main thing, but you have to also, when you learn, like somebody called me and said, hey, I want you to anchor an event for me. And she said, what's my bill? I told her 500,000. The woman called the call and called me back. She said, hey, please, I'm sorry. I mean, the guests are 200. It's just small. I said, my money is 500. She said, but it's just 1 hour talk. I said, no, you are not paying me for that hour you are using for your event. You are paying me for the years I used to learn this craft. You understand? So once you learn, not the comedians that are coming up now just because of the money. I'll be like, next year I'll be like 15 years in the industry. So I've used some years to learn. So right now, you can't be telling me I'm working for passion. Now I'm working for money.
Okay, so we've ascertained that. So it's just like you telling us that you are not going to have fame without fortune. So fortune must come with the fame.
My brother.
So I think I if that's what I get. But now let's look at the health implication, right?
Okay.
If we don't laugh, are we doomed?
That's a big one. And well, the truth is, yeah, to an extent, because the truth about human beings is that there's a way the body has been designed. There are hormones that do different things. Okay. So, for example, you find yourself in a situation, maybe you got lost, you are in a zoo, and somehow a lion broke out, right? So there's something we call fight, flight, or freeze. Okay?
That's good. Okay.
So a lion is approaching you. At that point, your body makes a decision. There are hormones jumping all over the place. Stress hormones like cortisol, adrenaline, And the intent, if it's for flight, then you take to your heels. And that's why a lot of times when you're in that kind of situation, you're running, you get injured, you don't realize it until everything is done. Or you could choose to fight. Okay? Or, unfortunately, some people just basically freeze. Okay? Now, same thing applies when it comes to things like humor, comedy. The mind thrives on a comfortable environment. Stress is not good for the body. Stress has its own advantages I just gave an example of the fight-flight mechanism. Okay. So sometimes you need to act in that direction. But over time, when the life is defined by stress, it tells on the health. Starts with the mental health. People don't talk so much about mental health. We are more particular about the malaria, the typhoid, and other things like that. But there is a lot to mental health. Having a sane mind, being able to deal with situations. We will all go through tough situations in life. Yeah. It's inevitable. Okay? Whatever is going on in the country, whichever way you look at it, life can be tough. Coping mechanisms are key. And part of it is humor, comedy. We need to be happy, be able to make light of serious situations and still be able to take things seriously. Okay? So there are two sides to it. On one hand, it can become a cover-up. And that's why you have people who are comedians and humor makers who may be dealing with mental health issues. Yeah. They're basically trying to help people not face what they're going through.
Deep.
And at the end of the day, if one is not careful, people like that who make people laugh, who make people happy, are the ones who are destroyed by depression. So generally, we'll talk more about it, but there are hormones. There's dopamine, feel good hormones like dopamine. We talk about endorphins, things that make you feel good and help you deal with stress. So comedy, laughter is important, but we need to be able to manage it.
So I picked something, and I want to direct the question to you. So you said somebody might be. So what I understand is giving out a medicine that you are not taking. That's what comedians do. So how do you, in your craft now, how often do you go on stage or whatever, if you do skit and you just have to entertain people, but deep down, does it happen to you? Have you been in a dark spot before where you're not happy, but you just have to make people happy?
My brother, you can't be in this country and don't face that. There are many times. But like I told you, I said, when you are determined to do something, you will do it. That's the business aspect. Like for me, I tell myself, nothing can move me. When we entered, I was discussing some things with you. Nothing I've seen, both physically, spiritually. I've seen. So as a comedian, like I do comedy for money now, not for passion. So when you are doing something for money, you have to make sure that earthwise you are okay. My wife know me with this. If I'm not okay, I'll cancel some things. Because you yourself, like my program is Laugh Out Stress. Now imagine when they do Laugh Out Stress, go they stressed. Now problem. you understand? So you having a program that is Laugh Out Stress, you can't be stressed. You understand? So you need to understand. We have some comedians that are passing through a lot. I know some my close pals. And I tell them, I said, don't deceive yourself. Me, if you see me performing, if I'm happy, after they crack joke, they laugh to my joke. Yeah. Not that some people will be cracking joke, they will not laugh. People will be laughing. They are passing. I will laugh. Guess what I mean? I'm funny for myself now. But I will ask myself, should I crack this thing?
But were you always like this? Or you now, over time, you now developed this trait where you now know that I have to also be happy to, when you started?
My brother, listen to me. Some people in this comedy industry, they just entered because some of their friends are doing it. Do you understand? Like me, it started from secondary school. When they gave me that name, Ite, I realized that when I'm talking with my friends, they used to laugh. But me, I will not laugh. They say I'm funny. You understand? So when I left secondary school, after writing jam, when the jam was been jamming me up and down with jam, this thing pursue me, I have to start comedy.
Okay.
I know it wasn't easy then. There are sometimes you perform and they will chase you out of the stage because you are not funny. So in that other aspect of you telling me that maybe it's choice to be depressed too. There's depression in Nigeria. It's your choice to be depressed, and how you control that moment. Anything that want to give me stress as a comedian, I will take it off. Like me, for instance, I have years that I will be doing comedy. Once that year gets, I don't close. I'm not more doing comedy again. I'll face the other side. For me, comedy is business for me. The aspect of passion has passed. Because at this age now, very soon now, Agbati Day, sorry for using Yoruba, there's no time because your children will not be asking you that when your mates are making it, what have you been doing? You understand? So on the aspect of some comedians, that's their choice. I know many comedians, I don't want to mention them. Some of them they have to stand up from the hospital to go and perform. Me, I can't be a slave to people or to myself. Because I'm here to make money. I'm here to look well. Once I'm performing, you will see from the stage, this guy is okay. Not the one you finish and you go back and start taking drugs. No. So as I'm doing the business aspect, I'm also health-wise, I'm okay.
Okay, all right. Now, you said being stressed, it's a choice.
Yes.
Dr. Onifere, would you want to agree with that? Because we've seen a whole lot of people, life have happened to them.
Yeah.
Not that they desire it, not that by design, but one way or another, they found themselves in an irredeemable situation that only God can take them out of it. Now, Eteye is here saying it's a choice. Would you agree with him?
Well, not entirely. Now, I get the point, the fact that you have to decide how to deal with life's issues. Okay? However, events occur and it is natural. It's human to respond to certain events in certain ways. For example, a sudden loss of a loved one can be a very stressful event.
Yeah.
You can't control your response to that. What you can control is how long you're mourning, for example.
Yeah.
You can decide to stay sad, stay unhappy, and be filled with bitterness, unhappiness, hate, and never recover. Or you could pick yourself up and say, well, I can't control what has happened, but I can control where I am going to. I have been through very stressful situations at certain times, and I'm grateful that I was able to move on. And this is where what is going on in the society at the moment becomes a major issue. We all need support systems. Sadly, we are beginning to lose that. In years past, you have a situation where the society ran more or less as one. In the 80s, when I was born, earlier than that, the society trains children. Okay? Someone can confidently leave his children at home and the neighbors will tend to the child, correct the child. If there are issues going on, we rally around, we support one another. But we have grown into a society where there's so much suspicion, so much distrust. And as a result, a lot of people are lacking true support systems. A lot of people, when they get support, have at the back of their mind, does this person really love me? Is it fake love? So people can't really trust in people. So at the end of the day, you have people in tough situations. You need family. You need friends. And in this society where everybody seems to be minding their business, so to say, people go through difficult situations and they don't know where to turn to. They don't know who to turn to. And as a result, people bottle things up. Now, I'll make reference to, you've said two things now. You've talked about comedians who probably will leave their sick bed, go to shows, and go back, to take the medications. The truth is this. You said something that what you're doing is for business, for income, right? The truth is these people also need to make ends meet. So they might actually have to go to those shows because they have to pay their bills. But the issue now is this. Do these people have true friends and family that help them go through what they're going through? Because people will take ill. It's inevitable. Sure. It's a part of life. Okay? Yes, some will happen because you were careless with your health.
Yeah.
Okay? Some things will happen because it was passed to you genetically. Some things will happen, for example, in the current, climate that we have, with the hardship, the economic hardship. For children, for example, we're having a lot of children develop malnutrition. Something that was gradually, you would only see in the slums. Things like kwashiorkor, which was, almost long forgotten. We're beginning to see them again. It's because of what's happening. Okay? So people will take ill, but do they have the support system to go through it? Are they suffering and smiling? And there is no one to really cry on their shoulders. And that's why comedy seems to be thriving a lot.
Yeah, they need it now.
People are looking for a feel good, time.
Yeah.
They are looking for a way to get away from the stress. The challenge here is just comedy might not be enough. At the end of the day, if all you do is feed on comedy, you may just get that temporary feel good. There are other things that matter. Let me talk about health, for example. So my other alias on social media is Kunle Olofofo. I started out health content creation, just sitting in a room. And, my first post, sometime last year was about fever. What is fever? Because many people, when they hear fever, the first thing that comes to their mind is malaria. Okay. Yes. So I started to attempt to correct the notion. Fever is high body temperature. There are several things that can be responsible. Malaria can be one of them. But it was a struggle. Over time, seeing the likes of Aproko Doctor, other people, talking, getting exposure, I had to adjust what I was doing a bit. So I have like a Kunle Olofofo series. I am not a comedian, okay? But, like Ete, there are some people that, you talk and people, liven up around you, okay? So I have a little bit of humor. But stand-up comedy, no, sir.
Don't try it.
I will not try it because you will not laugh. You're going to boo me off the stage. Yeah. But with the Kunle Olofofo series, I play two characters. I play myself, Doki Onifere, and I play Kunle, who is a lively character who comes to Doki with gist about medical issues happening around and Doki. And I realized that while I'm still growing, it helps when people hear serious information with a little bit of humor. Not many people want to listen to anything serious anymore.
Yeah.
Not many people. So at the end of the day, that's why Aproko Doctor goes with the Nkechi, Emeka. Everybody is trying to put some humor into what they do, even when they want to pass across very serious information. So that balance is necessary. It's very important. People have to be happy, but that temporary thing is not going to work. Have that temporary feel of comedy, humor, but you should be able to go back home and have a shoulder to cry on and be able to deal with issues beyond the temporary response to comedy and laughter.
Okay, so I want to, because you just pointed out something that's temporary. The stress that you get relieved of by comedy is temporary.
Yeah.
Right. But what about to what extent can fake laugh? Imagine something is not funny to me and I have to laugh because everybody here we are laughing. I don't want somebody to ask me, "Are you loved at home?" or something, and I had to just laugh. Does that have any effect? If there was any good part, does that have any effect?
Has absolutely no effect.
Okay, in fact, it has to come from inside.
Yeah, it's probably worse because it speaks back to what I'm talking about. The fact that you have to put up a fake laugh means that there is an issue with your circle.
So hunger and comedy. So let me say hunger and so food for my belly, right? And comedy to laugh. Which is more important? Which should I satisfy first of all?
Naturally, you need to satisfy food first.
Okay, so it's saying if I eat and I squeeze my face, I'm good.
No, not necessarily. They say an hungry man is an angry man.
Okay.
Right? So someone who is unhappy, okay, of course, he will be unhappy because he doesn't have what to eat. He's struggling to pay his bills. He's struggling to stay healthy. He's struggling to live a comfortable life. It's going to be hard for him to give a real laugh. And this is where social media has its good sides, but unfortunately has a lot of bad sides.
A lot.
I will speak to one of the popular social media platforms, X, okay, Twitter. So much toxicity. You see, the truth is this. When you see people cancel people, you see that cancel culture thing? A lot of times it is people trying to hide what is going on with them.
Yes, sir.
They feel good from making other people feel bad.
I can never do that.
And then you have a community where the good proportion of people just want to talk about how bad things are, how terrible things are, how there doesn't appear to be any hope. Hopelessness is terrible. And if everyone around you is talking and sounding hopeless, you are in trouble. You see, the truth is this. What is. You can't change what is. Okay, so right now the economy is what it is. Fuel is almost 1,000 naira per liter. Electricity bills are hitting the roof. Food is expensive. Can you change that by yourself? I'm sorry, you can't. You can contribute your quota to the society, be a good citizen, play your part, okay? Do your best to, do honest work, meet your needs. But your worrying and complaining about how bad things are only makes matters worse for you psychologically. How about having a positive attitude to life? How about, well, things are hard, but I'm going to keep doing the best I can and hope for the best. But we have a society that thrives so much on emphasizing the negatives. You enter a bus and the average person that is talking is grumbling and complaining. Hey, Nigeria is hard. Hey, T-Pain has done it. Lagbaja has done it. And the truth is, it's making it very difficult for people to have, sound mental health. So comedy is important. But the truth is this. If we don't correct those fundamental issues, people will go to comedy shows. For a moment, if the comedian is good enough, their minds fly away from what's going on in their lives. They laugh it all away. During that period, they distress a bit. But then you step out and you come back to the reality. And then you realize that that person who was laughing genuinely could be actually someone that is battling depression. And it will keep building.
Now, if let me take you on that. Now, you said it gives us that good feeling factor temporarily.
Yeah.
Now, don't you think it's something that we can use as the daily dosage? For example, we bait every day. Mm-hmm. That I bait yesterday doesn't mean I won't bait today.
Yeah.
Now, if it's going to give me a good feeling factor today, why don't I replicate it tomorrow, next tomorrow, this and that? Because like you said earlier, people focus on their problems. Mm-hmm. People complain about their problems. Mm-hmm. Now, if you focus more on the good side of life, there will always be a good side. It's just that maybe the problems are more. Sure. Now, if you focus on that, that's what you are giving life to, and that's what you'll be seeing. Mm-hmm. So if I feel that comedy will give me that good feeling factor today, and tomorrow again I have access to it, I will do that. I'll make it an everyday affair. So now, talking about the mental health issue. Now, for someone who is bereaved now, or comedians making a joke out of someone's bereavement, or how do I put it? I'm trying to get the particular word now.
Is it dark humor?
Okay, the dark humor now. Okay, let me start with it. What's your take on that?
No, what you're trying to say, as in picking on people.
No, you're not intentionally doing that.
Okay.
Now, there's a bad situation, and you're trying to make a joke out of that bad situation.
You remember, let me paint. You remember the saga between AY comedian and Seun Kuti?
Okay.
Where Seun Kuti felt like the joke was taken too far.
The skit was.
Yes, the skit was too far. Where they used them, he felt they used them an animal to depict his daughter, something like that.
I would say it's very bad. It's very bad because even AY felt it. Because there are some time, I don't shoot skit like that. But you see, when you see other guys do some skits that will pick on people, I go against it. I go against it because the thing is, some people may like it. Some people may not like it. Just like we now performing on stage. Now, let me give you an example of, if you perform on stage, there are some people that can take some things in a normal way. There are some people that you will do something. Let's even come to the physical performance now. If you crack any joke about something that's happened and the person is there, some people can climb the stage and slap you. They've done it in different shows. I've been there.
I think it happened in this guy's case. This white guy, Will Smith.
See, look at that one too.
I remember his case.
Using the man's problem. to crack jokes.
Alopecia.
And the man came up, look at that slap. That slap has weight. Now, there are like I tell people, I said, the way you pick on people, whether you are shooting skits or you are performing, because you see those skit makers, they have, in fact, people now look them more than even the stand-up comedians now. They pass more music than the comedians. You know, so is when we have shows, we go and perform. Yeah. But them, they are once they shoot one video to go viral.
Yeah.
Now, some people can take some things, some people will not take it. Our temperament is different. That's why sometimes I don't yab people, because you don't know the kind of atmosphere that those kind of people you are yabbing. That's why if I want to crack, I'll just say everything I'm going to say is a lie. So if I pick on you, please forgive me ahead. You understand? You may be yabbing now, you don't know the person you're yabbing is soldier. And he did not wear uniform. And you don't say, Oga, see the way your head be. And you don't know the 8 of them now, they are all army, they don't wear clothes. And you say, Oga, this is your head, They'll be like BRT lane. See. And you observe that man is laughing, but the other guys are not laughing. Those like boys, you don't know. So by the time you finish the joke now, outside, they'll come and meet you. Are you the comedian inside? You say, yes, we are the comedian outside. That man you are yabbing is our general. So there are some things, some people don't take some things though. That's why some comedy show, they will tell you, please, everything the comedians are going to say here, don't take it personal. Even if I want to climb stage to perform, I say, anything I will say here now, don't take it personal. Because what you will take, likely, the next person will not take. So shooting skits, like that one you talk about AY using this thing. Shane was angry. He's a rapper that is more mature than Shane now. He will not take it as anything. But you will see in his eyes that it was mad. And even when I watched the video, I knew where that video was going. When I watched the skits, I knew that it was talking to Shane. You understand? So when we pass message, we should not forget that some people, their temperament are different.
Yes.
How they absorb things is different. I can take some things. Like me, some comedians, they know me. If I'm in a comedy show, you yab me, I will beat you. That's comedian to comedian. I don't take nonsense. If you crack joke there, you yab me, I will stand up and beat you. Kofi had done it before to one of my colleagues. He even used his own joke to yab him. The man stood up from there with slap on stage.
But why? Why? Is it not your colleague? Why will you...
Which colleague?
Like when you mean a comedian uses you to crack joke. Is your colleague in the industry?
There are some things you should understand. Respect is very, 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 very important. Even though we are colleagues, you can't just stand up and just crack joke. Person of 16 years, can't they crack joke for me? I don't be like a header. No, now we should have respect now. You see this comedy, we need to define it too. Even among the comedians. Some upcoming guy, all these Gen Z comedians, and they don't have respect. They will just come up because they are funny. They will think they can just go up. Even some, they won't bother to greet yourself now. They will just see because we are mates. That's why I tell them, I say, if they leave comedy, I can beat people outside. Because you must have self-discipline. That's why some of them, they can just shoot any skit without knowing the repercussion. If AY apologized to him now, live in his own show, he apologized to Sean but it has done the damage already. That's no damage control. You will say some things until you are finished before your eye will clear.
Yeah.
That's why I tell comedians, if I'm doing show, I'll tell them, please don't yab anybody. Because some people, that's why some politicians don't go to comedy show again. Only Dino can go to any show now, you can yab him, no problem. But imagine someone that is angry like Makinde now. You can't yab that man. No. When you are going to just put you inside the black.
Who is Makinde? Is it the Oyo State?
It doesn't take nonsense. So you guys say, oh, guys, see your cap.
So he will go arrest the person.
Some people don't take it. See, what you can take, I may not take it. You don't understand? We should also, like what you're saying, our mental health is different too. Some people you are seeing them, they just came to that show just to come and relax, and you are adding to their problem. I've seen an event where people came to buy ticket and sit down, and somebody yabbed them, and they took their children and they left. You don't understand? Because everybody, what is bringing me to the show is different from what is bringing you.
Could it be a lack of creativity by some of the comedians? When I mean a lack of creativity, because you said money is now in the industry. So, especially with the rise of skit making now, you know, everybody that sometimes is not funny, right? But wants to now be funny. Could it be because of the money that we are now seeing the industry be flooded by every Tom, Dick, and Harry?
You know, one thing I should correct there, you don't compare the skit makers and the comedians. We are different. That topic they brought that topic that the skit makers, they are blocking, now the comedians are going down. It's a big lie. It's a big lie, my brother. Go and call a skit maker to come and anchor your wedding. That's when you will know that. Do you know this standing we are doing is not ordinary?
Different
you will carry mic. I've gone to anchor a wedding with one skit maker. You know what they call stammerer? He dey stammer. He has to tell me, hey, do this one, I will do the other side. It's not being funny on say you are shooting skits. Even me, I can shoot skits. The level of what some people coming into the comedy industry, they're coming because of the money now. You are not creative. You crack people's joke.
Yeah.
Like me, if you come me on stage, even though you want to crack somebody's joke, you have to give the respect to that person. Let's say, for instance, I know that this joke, I like this joke. There was one time, if you know MC Passion on Flat Meat, I was doing his joke. And I called him on phone. I said, Passion, I want to crack this your joke. He said, go ahead. So that simply means if outside now I'm cracking that joke, somebody sees me, I can send that screenshot, that's our chat. See, yeah. He's asked me to go ahead. When you can't be cracking somebody's joke and he's seated there. You know, most of these popular comedians are getting more waves than the upcoming because even the joke they are cracking is for the upcoming. But because the upcoming do not have that platform that those boss has, it's not giving them. I've been to many comedy shows that you see that. Let me even call names now. Let's say for instance, Sheilos enters an event.
Okay.
You know, Sheilos performance with which comedian again I would like call? There's one comedian, I forgot his name. When the two of them are in one event, if you invite the two of them, one person will ask, "Shey, this guy don't perform." I'll go say, he don't perform. Which joke he crack? For them to know which one, because
so that
the two of them they have the same pattern. So you will know that this one will still come and do the same thing. And there are some comedians, and when they hear that maybe they came to the event late and you did their joke and it gets to them and they're angry, they will come on that stage and do the same joke. But you now know the difference.
That's where originality comes.
That is it. Like someone like me, my own life, I do freestyle. If I enter any event, once I enter, I've studied everywhere now. If I want to pick, I'll start picking anybody one. That's what they call creativity. There are sometimes you will sit down and write. I don't go for comedy club, but unlike this Sunday that passed, I was at Ashiri Comedy Club. I told him, Ashiri, I want to perform. He was shocked because I don't perform in comedy club. I said, I want to start doing rehearsal for my Zaria show that's coming up. So you need to rehearse. There are some times in my house, I'll tell my wife is my first audience. I'll just say, madam, sit down, test this thing. If my wife feel laugh, everybody will laugh.
So she know the laugh where now. Why
what I'm saying is this: if my wife can, if I sanction my joke now, she don't say
But what you don't say your wife love you.
It's not by love.
So what if she go funny to her?
One person that can criticize anything.
Yeah.
My wife don't feel. She will tell you, "Oh, go and sit down. You're not funny." But when I crack joke, I don't say, "Madam, test wrong. I have 3. I'll do the first one. Bam, she frown face. I say, "This are no pick." Come on, I do the other one. You don't say, correct. I'll pack it.
Okay.
She's my first audience. So if you are not creative enough to write your own materials, Alibaba writes. That man writes. I can say it anywhere, anytime. We have some comedians. Like I'll call names now. Kenny Black is very creative. Kenny Black will rehearse as if he wants to die. And maybe we have to also advise him. He works a lot. And it can also affect his mental health. There are some times I will chat him and say, "Oh God, calm down." You will see him calling me at Alpha. There's this event we cannot do refund. They are tired, but they have to go. There are some balance you hear. You will tell yourself, "Oh, mommy, go to malaria kembo." You enter out. I've done it several times. People say I have balance to collect like 300, and I have malaria. I've been to an event, wedding. My body is hot. I told my wife, I said, "Should I call somebody?" The person told me, and there are some clients they will tell you, don't bring anybody. Only you they want. You will get there and you are with malaria, with typhoid. You will not stand. The event planner will tell you, give me be more lively. I'll say, and you'll be feeling your temperature, because there is bills to pay. Yeah. You understand? Wow. So you have to do it. That's what they call passion. But my passion must also work with money. I can't be passionate and you drink Gary. Do you think this comedy will continue forever? So that the people, all this coming up now, they will ask many of us, what have we been doing with our own time? Now you have simple health problem. Now they'll start putting fundraising. I reject it.
So between the skit making and stand-up comedy now, which is making more money?
Oga.
It should be skit making.
No, don't say that.
Why?
Don't say that. Hold up. What we have different audience. Okay, let's take for instance Basket Mouth. Do you know he's the first skit maker in Nigeria? But many of us don't know.
That is Julius Agu.
No, I'm coming. I said Basket Mouth started skits those days with their Bovie. But then social media was not that strong. With their Julius. They were doing skits now. They don't know the secrets. There you don't know you put something on YouTube to pay for you now. No. It is when this Gen Z started. In fact, skit money started paying off during the lockdown.
Yeah.
Because I remembered where I was working. I'm an engineer. Forget comedy. I'm an engineer. Inside this Omoli, I was working on Omoli and I have to like resign 2019 because once, in our office, once you miss one work today, sometimes I have wedding on Thursday. I will leave office and go. So they will remove my salary. There was even one that made me resign. I never knew that my Oga was coming for that program. It was graduation. So my pastor children invited my boss to that event. And I told them in the office I was sick. And my Oga signed it that this guy is sick. Now for him to see the sick man holding microphone, shouting, "Hello children, please sit down." My Oga said, "So this guy is sick and is here. They have to now seize my salary for that month." So I told myself, I have to resign. You understand? So when you can't compare the skit makers and stand up. During the lockdown, when there was no anything, I was among the people that started live program on Instagram. That was where I got my first car.
So what I'm saying in essence is
they have money, normal. They have money.
So we are not talking about talent now.
No more than many of us.
And so maybe there is old money, but is it not more lucrative to be a skit maker now? Because I'm looking at it that if you're looking at the stand-up comedy, back then we know Night of 1,000 Laugh. A lot of people broke out from that. If you're looking at the stand-up comedy now, except you are anchoring events, right? But these guys can comfortably sit and create. These are digital products, right? That people can just consume on YouTube. Don't you think that is where the older comedians?
No. What we are also doing now, the stand-up comedians, there's a far difference. That's why when we are doing our comedy shows, we have to cut some of our performances and then upload.
Okay,
you understand?
YouTube also.
Yes, but saying that. You can say that these guys are really making money, but not all of them. Some are fake.
Okay.
Some they hide other something. You see, I don't want some other guy that do YY now. Who just enter skit, use the skit to cover up.
Okay.
I have many of my friends, I don't want to mention name. They are skit makers. It's a lie. They can't tell me it's a skit. I know they are work.
So what do you think they are doing?
I'll leave that in. It's wire.
You have it.
So permit me to speak to that issue of dark humor. And firstly, let me mention, as we were talking about Alibaba, I remembered seeing a short talk by Alibaba recently where he was talking about what happened to him during Sonny Abacha's period, where he was talking to, there was about to be
I think I listened to that as well.
Display or something, and he told Sonny Abacha to take off his glasses. And there were people already waiting. And thank God he was sensitive enough to realize that he was about to lose his life. And he went to go and sit in front of Sonny Abacha and had to, find a way to douse the tension. Now that's a simple one where he wasn't even saying anything special, right? But because this person was an influential personality, he almost got into trouble. It's unfortunate that some people thrive on other people's misfortune.
Very bad.
Making comedy out of somebody's pain is very insensitive. While one should not encourage the action of the likes of Will Smith, okay? But like the issue that Will Smith had was that his wife had a medical condition, alopecia. And then you make a jest about her having bowed hair. That touches a very soft spot. And it goes into all this skit making where people do pranks.
Very bad one.
And then people start to run. People almost injure themselves. You have people who may actually have background health conditions that could have a heart attack and die. And some human beings are making money out of bringing pain and difficulty to other people's lives. It now shows where, as human beings, we are beginning to have a real problem. Somebody watches that kind of skit where somebody made a prank and somebody began to run and jumps over a fence, hurts him or herself, and then I'm laughing at it.
I say it's a prank.
For goodness sakes, I should see such and be repulsed at that skit maker.
Okay,
because
so
you're putting someone's life at risk.
let's not so that our emotions don't get a better for. So you remember our topic is finding humor in dark times, right? So if we are looking at it, what role does comedy play in all of this? We are going through a lot in Nigeria, and before the program started, I was trying to check some statistics on happy people in the world. You know, back then we used to say Nigerians were the happiest people. But I went down, I checked the Forbes list, I checked the UN list, and I could not see Nigeria, right? Again, like top 18, 20. And then is it that reality started staring at us and we are looking at things because maybe we were just monkeys just jumping over bananas in the jungle. Over time we realized that, come on, these bananas is not what we need, right? And people are no longer happy. So what role does comedy really play in all of this? How do we really even find humor when I'm hungry, when fuel price is up, right? Yes, because Ete is going to do show and he's not going to be free. He's going to charge me if that should be comedy clinic, right? Where I should go and laugh. But is the case of salvation is free, but you must buy.
We are working on something now.
So we'll come to you. So how do we find humor in these dark times? When you said I can't fake laugh, it's still like not laughing. How?
Well, like I said, there is no doubt that comedy humor is important. Like I said, I infuse some degree of humor into what I do. I'm trying to pass across serious health information and try to put some humor in it, help to identify with people. People can relate, However, the important thing is this. Yes, get a touch of comedy from social media, go to stand-up comedy shows when you can, but having a positive attitude to life is important. And I think generally as a people, we all need to work on this. If what everybody is doing is, the truth is, yes, things are hard, but I will always ask people when they're in difficult situations, you're murmuring and you're complaining about the situation. How has it changed your situation?
Not at all.
It has not made it any better. So what you have just done is add insult on injury. Life is hard. You are hungry. You don't have money to pay your bills. And all you are doing is, Kinikon is, this person is, and that's all you're doing. Well, the truth of the matter is that you are also making matters worse. So why not have a bit of a positive attitude to life? Yes, it looks like things are hopeless. It looks like there is nowhere to go. But you see, the truth is this. If you have a positive attitude to life, you will see opportunities better. When you are totally pessimistic and all you do is grumble and complain, opportunities will come and they will pass you by. You won't see them.
So what are you said you were trying to say you were working on something where I said you will still charge me for a show. Though you told me.
No, like I said, we know what is happening right now. Everything is a little bit good. Let's use that word good. So now we organize an event. The only way we can also allow people to come in is that we'll have some people. That's why most of us, when you see that, we know some students don't even have money to come and watch events. So what we'll do is that we'll look for some of our men, our bosses that are well-to-do to get some tickets for giveaway. You understand? Okay. Just like what I'm doing in Zaria now. You can't compare doing a show in Zaria to Abuja and Lagos. When I was putting my billboard in Zaria, somebody said, Kilo Shelley, are you bringing Lagos? So what we did is that some of our men are here, will tell them that, please, we don't need your money to eat. Can you help us buy some tickets to give some people that cannot afford it? So what we'll do is that we'll not just give them like that so that they don't feel as if it's just for fun. We'll give them some questions and answer. So if other comedians can do that, which I know they are doing it, you can't expect it's people that will come and buy tickets everywhere. It's like there's giveaway in tickets. So it's part of our support. We can't declare free. But if I see somebody now like Organa can say, okay, this is your Zaria show now. Declare sold out on the regular of 1.5. Do you know how many people that will come inside? Just give them. And somebody can still sell the ticket to go and buy something. So it's part of our own contribution.
All right.
Lastly, if you look at the industry now, that's the comedy industry now, would you say it is still appreciating in terms of talents.
Okay.
Because one, now earlier you talked about real talents being seen on the stand-up comedy show, and I would liken it to a stage performance and the home videos.
Okay.
Now, for someone to perform on a stage, that's live.
That's live, yeah.
So you can. It's only when you are highly talented that you can really display your craft there. But for maybe the home videos, there's always a cut, shoot, cut again when the mistakes are allowed. But on the stage, mistakes are not allowed. So I would liken it to that. So are we still seeing more talent within that industry, or what we have is a bunch of people who are how to make money, and therefore the talent is not being looked into?
Okay, what I would say is this. Right now, in the comedy industry, we have some new cats now on board.
Okay.
These guys are creative. In fact, they are giving some of us to do some rehearsals. My kind of performance has changed now, because when you look some other guys coming up now, they are making us to know that they have it all. And the way they do in fact, some of them, when they are doing their shows, will be wondering, they'll use Adenuga's conference, nowhere we cannot even think of. They started doing some things, doing it on Netflix. Throughout my life, I don't know that they can even put comedy on Netflix. But these young guys are coming, in fact, they are bringing new ideas. So if you don't follow this guy's trend, you will just want to say this guy has gone out of comedy business. So I will tell you that right now in the comedy field now, the thing is really working, and we have new guys on block, and they are doing well. I'm telling you, you can even put your money in it, get good laughs. You know, in Lagos now, every Sunday in Lagos, every Sunday to December they show, and you'll be wondering, like this past Sunday, two shows on the island, Eco Hotel and Terraculture, and the two were filled up because people, they are Akporo now is looking for opportunity. If you see Akporo now, he doesn't want to believe that he's old school now because the new guys now are giving him wrong.
So before we round up, because we are
pressed
for time, and so have you seen any tangible health improvement in anyone that you've advised to, engage in laughing more? You need to just liven up a little bit. That madam is not. I've had an auntie that her issue, I don't know how true is this. They told her that she sleeps too much. That's why she was stressed, and it was so funny to her. So maybe somebody came to you and you said, it's because you are not, you are just too uptight. You're more like a sadist. Can it lead to any tangible health improvement?
So there are several studies that have found that comedy humor improves health outcomes. It's still being looked at, but the idea is that comedy humor releases hormones that are anti-stress. So we talk about the endorphins, we talk about the feel-good hormone oxytocin that is released when something good, happens that makes you happy. And generally, when you have a patient that has a pessimistic outlook to life, they really do well.
Wow.
So there has to be that sense of hope, that sense of a desire to actually come out of that situation, that sense of, okay, I'm hopeful that what the doctors are doing, would help me. So it's important. And it comes back to what I talked about, support systems. Because, for example, that person you talked about that sleeps a lot, there are several reasons why the person could be sleeping a lot. Person could just be a lazy person. Person could just be someone who has a sleep disorder. But the person could be someone who has certain traits of depression, where that's just their getaway. Just engage less with people, engage less with what is happening around. So it's important that people have a good outlook to life, and that comes from having a good support system, having a society that is not full of pessimism and canceling, okay? And then having family and friends that can be there and can tell when things are just a little bit off, and then, of course, taking advantage of avenues for humor, to be as happy as you can be, beyond fake laughter. Being able to actually because the truth is, comedy is not going to work for you if your mindset is terrible.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be able to get you to laugh if your mind is just, if you are upset, it's going to take a lot to get you out of that state. So a lot of people that can respond to comedy are somewhere in the middle there. Yes, things are tough, but they're able to loosen up, lighten up. There is a dark place that someone can be, that there's no amount of joke you are going to crack.
Nothing.
Person is not seeing anything. He's not listening to anything you're saying. And it's a very terrible place to be. A very terrible place to be.
All right. Thank you very much. Finding humor within this situation that we find ourselves, it's your responsibility. It's my responsibility. There will always be terrible situations. But the ability to be able to rise above the situation we find ourselves is our own responsibility. And that's what we have to do. And that's what comedy will bring to you. It's a good thing to laugh. Thank you for watching today's show. And to my guests, I want to say a very big thank you to you for coming on set. And to my co-host as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for having another wonderful day.
You.
So see you another time. Thank you.
Yeah.